This conference
and
will now be recorded.
we are going to see how MITRE is helpful in cybersecurity field and presently what is the trend related to the MITRE attack. Before explaining about MITRE, I would like to uh, tell you about myself, what actually I am doing in cybersecurity field and what I'm going to deliver, how I'm related with the MITRE attack. So presently, I am leading a security intel team in company, and I worked as system admin like 2 3 years back, and then I worked as network and security engineer, and also I worked as a subject matter expert, and I'm doing security research and security development. So I went through a lot of roles in cybersecurity from last 6 years, so I have a little bit idea about how cybersecurity is going in a market, and I'm also doing a part-time corporate training. So yeah. And more than that, actually, I'm working on a multiple projects. I worked on MITRE ATT&CK navigation integrator with the SIM tools. So we were using one SIM tool, and they were not having any MITRE ATT&CK uh, uh, usage. So I helped them to integrate that, and it is working at present, and it is in a market, and we are creating rules for that, and always trying to find out if any malicious activity is going on. Other than that, I'm working on some more project like SOC automation, so that it will be helpful for a SOC analyst, and it will make their life a little bit easier. Okay. Other than that, I'm also creating SIM rules for multiple product related with the network, related with the network devices, related with the cloud environment, and even Windows and Linux. Guys, a small request, can you mute yourself for new Chinese joining also? Please mute yourself. Okay, so this is about my profile and what actually I do in cybersecurity. Okay. So we will now start with MITRE attack. So before, I think many people seen this pyramid, and before we go to the MITRE, we need to understand it, why we need MITRE. We have a lot of techniques now in the market who is trying to track cybersecurity, and we were also doing a lot of IOCs. We are collecting the IOCs, we are finding the malwares and all those things using it. But why we suddenly need a MITRE? Why we go into the MITRE side? Why MITRE organization introduced the attack framework? So what was the need? So we can more easily understand if we understand the pyramid of pain. So this is a pyramid of pain. So here, if you see, we were using previously a lot of IOC based methodology for dealing with the cybersecurity. When we go to any SOC team, when we go to any research, security research, they always uh, tell you that collect the IOCs, check it in virus total, and trying to figure out that what is going on in the environment. Is there something suspicious going on? So why actually that got failed? Why using the hash values, using the predefined IP addresses or domain names, they are not able to catch the cybersecurity. They are not able to catch the attacks, cyber attacks. So what actually the reason? So have we explained a little bit about this pyramid? What actually we have seen what SOC people or what people are doing is they are collecting the hash value. But what we seen that when we have any suspicious program or when we have any suspicious process, and if we slightly make the changes in the code of that particular program, the hash value also get changed. So it is very easy to manipulate that hash value, or very easy to change the hash value of any program. So what actually hackers do, they figure out that yes, they are collecting the IOCs, they are collecting the hash values, and they store it in their SIM tools. Whenever some process is trying to trigger and it is having the same hash, they will get alert and they will easily try to break our cyber chain, and they will try to easily catch us. So what they start doing is they start changing their code. They start making a little change, but for that also a lot of security teams have find out that if we can use a fuzzy hashing. So fuzzy hashing is kind of uh, similar to the hash value, but it will try to figure out how similar this particular codes are. If I put a one code and another code, I take it. If I take the fuzzy code out of it, it will try to figure out the older what was the code was there previously, and after modification, there will be a similar hash. You will get it. So with the help of that, they are okay. Looks like okay. My screen is visible. I think someone. Okay.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So what actually hacker try to do now is they manipulate their code, and with that SOC team, or with that any cybersecurity researcher not able to figure out that is it really a malicious process is going on. And in case of the 0 days, we never see a hash values. We never guys, please mute yourself. Okay, we never see a hash values. So in that cases, we will easily get breaches. Now the second step of the pyramid is IP address. So we not just monitor the hash values, we also start monitoring the IP addresses. We start checking that if any process trying to connecting with the public IP address, connecting with the CNC servers, so they can easily send um, um, a very PII information, or very sensitive information out of our network, and they will collect those information without knowing us. In a backend, they will send all those data. If you try to track its traffic, you will see it is just a simple DNS traffic. You will get it. They will sending the text record, and they will figure out, okay, it is just a simple text record. Why should I bother about it? But actually, they are sending the data. But this IP address part also, we will start monitoring it, but it is easier to manipulate. I can use a proxy. So through the proxy, if I come, so I will not able to see the original IP address, the original hacker IP address. So they can easily manipulate that part, right? Or they can use some other the same kind of technology. They can use like VPNs, or they can use some Tor servers or proxy Tors. You may aware about it. So they can easily change it, and via small effort also they can change even their own IP address. They can move to the some other network, and IP address will get changed, right? So we will never able to catch the attackers in case of IP addresses too. We are able to, but if it is known, if attacker is doing using the same IP address, if attacker is using the same hash, in those cases we are able to figure it out. But in 0 day attacks, in in future or in present attacks, we very lessly see these working out. So the another thing, another step in pyramid is domain names. So this is slightly painful for an attacker to change, because this costs money. So if they have to take a new domain, they have to spend money on it, and hacker never want to do that. But still, it is not very costly uh, taking a new domain is not very costly. If you check it now in Google or Google GoDaddy, you will see that it is just cost you like 700 rupees or maximum 1000 rupees to buy a new domain. So, and other than that, there are multiple services like Dyn DNS. There are multiple Dyn DNS is available, and they can easily manipulate and they can easily change their domains, right? So by changing those domains, we can little trouble in finding the hackers. We can little trouble in finding the real malicious activities, right? So in these traditional cases where we are checking the hash values, IP addresses, domain names, uh, we are likely to fail in catching the uh, real viruses, or we are failing to stopping a real cyber attack. Now, but when we go to the next step of the pyramid, which is network slash host artifacts, in that case, it is very painful for a hacker to change, or very painful for any advisory to change their way of doing attack, because they have to change everything. They have to change the network, they have to change their strategy, they have to change the protocols, which is very painful for them. If they need to change that, they have to change their own code also. They have to change their command and control service also. So changing a network and host artifact, it is very difficult. So if everyone aware about the cyber technology, you may aware about IDS IPS. So IDS IPS finding this host and network artifacts. What they try to do is they try to figure out that what actually hacker is trying to do. Like if I take an example of command control servers. So what advisory will do it? They will send their data using a text record. Right. So what they will do is they will read the data. What they will read your IP address, they will read your credit card information, they will read anything which is accessible from your system or accessible from your user. So in that case, what they will do is they will send it out of the network. So how they will send it? So there are multiple way they can use HTTP. The same way, if they want to hide themselves, what they will do is they will send the DNS request to their DNS servers. So it is working on a DNS protocol, but what they do is they put their information into the text record and send it. If you see the network traffic, you will find this is a simple DNS traffic. That is, every day we know that we are resolving the names a lot. If we open our system and our system is connected with the internet, we will get a lot of DNS traffic. So it is very difficult for us to figure out that what is going on, right? But in case of if we implemented the ideas, or if we implemented NGIPS or NG firewalls, so new generation firewalls or new generation IPSs or IDSs, those things will block these artifacts. They will find out if any person is using a text record a lot and they contain some sensitive information. They can easily figure out by using the signatures, by using the intrusion signatures, and they will block it. So changing a host artifact or changing their way of doing attack is little difficult for them, and it is a real pain for advisory. So when we talk about network host and artifact, in that case, yeah, they will feel pain, but not that much. Still, they have little scope, and they can even do other changes. Even they can change a little bit method. Instead of using DNS traffic, they will try to use HTTP things. In that case, it is possible to do that. So right. So that is also possible to manipulate, but not in a very quick manner, or in a less time. So they have to change in some time, or they have to apply some other method and find their different way of doing it. Okay. And the other part is tools. The other step is tools. So what actually hacker try to do is, or what actually advisory try to do is, they will use specific tools to finding to doing malicious activity. Like if you take an example of Bloodhound, Bloodhound is one PowerShell module which people use a lot to steal the credentials, to steal system information, and that will get stolen from your system, and it will send it over the control command and control servers. Now, if they want to change that tools, then it is a little bit more difficult because these are pre-made tools are there. They have to work on the system. They have to work really hard to make a new tool to for stealing credentials, for stealing the system information. So if they need to do that, it will make them very tiring. It will take a month to change all those things, and after that you will after that only you can introduce a new tool and you can use it, right? So it is going to be a very difficult or very painful for advisory to change their tools. Then the last part is TTPS, which is tactics, technique, procedures. Now, they can change the tool also, but here we are talking about their behavior, what actually they do, right? If when we talk about any attack happening, what they are actually trying to do, they are trying to replicate their attack into the systems, multiple system using SNMP, using SMB protocols, right? So they are trying to put their attack, or they're trying to put their suspicious processes into a task scheduler so that if next time it will run, it will send their data properly, right? So these are the techniques they are using it, and TTPs will tell, we need to monitor those TTPs. We will need to monitor those behavior which advisory are trying to do in your systems. So they are changing the task scheduler, they are making entries into the registry, right? They are downloading the exes from the internet when they are using a macro to do some malicious activity, right? So if those think we are trying to catch, then it will be very hard for advisory to change that part. Okay. So this is a this is what actually the TTPs are, and MITRE have introduced this TTP as a framework. Okay, so previously it was there, people are using it, like FireEye was using it, this behavior. There was something called cyber reason. They have their own methodology of using the TTP. Instead of saying MITRE attack, there is something else, they are using some other name. So they were also introducing this, and after that, MITRE is a organization who dealing with this kind of stuff, cyber security, medical. So like that, there are multiple fields they are dealing with. So they have introduced this framework called MITRE attack, which is only talking about catching advisory using the TTPs. Okay, so that is what we are going to see next slide, that what actually the MITRE attack is, and what is this TTPs. Okay, okay, now what is a MITRE attack? MITRE attack is a framework which uses the TTPs to find out real behavior of the advisories, real behavior of any malicious process. So MITRE have introduced that particular framework, and in 2013 they have actually categorized this advisory behavior into a multiple section. So previously there was only 11 sections, like there was three different metrics was there. Previously, it was enterprise was there. We have mobile, then we have pre-attack, Now they have deprecated the pre-attack part. So what actually this enterprise mobile and pre-attack is? So if before doing the attack, what actually advisory do? What they are trying to collect? They are collecting some information, right? About your system, about your network. So they are trying to collect that part. So before doing an attack, the activity which is happening, that will lie under a pre-attack metric. Okay. So after that, once the attack happened, I mean when attack already happened, so what are the activity which is happening? I mean post-attack activities. What are those post-attack activities that will come under enterprise and mobile? Okay, enterprise uses a different kind of OSs. Enterprise using machine level OSs. Like if I take an example of Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and also now they have introduced different technologies like cloud, SaaS, network. So they have start giving a techniques for AWS. They are start giving a techniques for GCP. They are start giving a techniques for Azure, Azure AD, Office 365. For all those things, they are start giving techniques. So all those lie under enterprise. Then we have a mobile. So for the mobile, we have we know that this is the general information, everyone have it. For the mobile, we have two OS at present, which is predominantly working. So Android and iOS. So for this one, when they are introducing any new techniques or the older technique, that will lie under a mobile uh, matrix. Okay, so like I explained, pre-attack is for uh, preparation before exploit, and enterprise and mobile is post attack. So once the attack happened, how they will, what are the techniques they are using? So all those things we will understand it. Okay, so this is the MITRE attack. We will vastly learn about this when we start doing the training. So this is going to be like 8 hour session or a 9 hour session, which will explain about each and every techniques, each and every tactics. What is persistence? What is defense evasion? What is privilege escalation? What is command control? What are the techniques? What are the methods advisories using, like account manipulation, browser extension, create account? All those things we will explain in more detail. We will also see a navigator implementation, how we can use a navigator in different sim tools. We will see this. If everyone know, there is a open source a sim is there, which is Elastic Sim. So we will see that using Elastic Sim, how we can catch these techniques, how we will um, catch the malicious activity, how we are doing analysis. So all those things we will learn in depth. We will understand each and every tactics, along with few techniques we will explain it also, and we will also tell you how to make rules for that. Rules means how you can catch a particular procedure, right? If anything is happened, if I say account manipulation, there are various number of ways to do account manipulation. So we will make rules for those account manipulation also, and we will understand it, how it will catch those rules, how those rules will catch these techniques. Okay, and we also understand uh, what are the various simulators available. If people are familiar with MITRE attack, they might be familiar with atomic red canary or atomic red teaming tool. Okay, so those tools will help us to figure out what are the things we are able to catch it, and those tools are used in multiple ways. Okay, so they are used in doing a assessment, security assessment. They are uh, used in doing a um, malicious used in doing a simulation of the attacks. So all those things we will understand in our in-depth training. Okay. Now, who are the person who should learn this particular framework? Who, why they have to learn it? How they it will be helpful in their jobs? So if you are in the field of cybersecurity, you might be in security analyst, you might be doing a security research, might be interested, you might be interested in security research, or you might be interested in SOC team or in security development. I mean, when you are making the rules or application for Splunk or Elastic SIM or any other SIM tool. So if you are a security manager, this is very helpful for you to explaining to a management that how vulnerable we are, how we can do the assessment, and which will help them in their budget assigning for the cybersecurity. So we will understand that part too. Then if you are a security blogger, you want to post the things, because in cybersecurity, whenever some attack happen, you always want to explain in a more proper way, and MITRE will help you in that a lot. So you will understand that part also, how you will post, how you will make the reports and all those things. Then we have red teaming and blue teaming. So if you are interested in cybersecurity, you might aware about this teaming concept, red team and blue team. There you can make a new attack. There you can make new defenses. So how you can do that using a MITRE, we will explain about that. We will tell you that how we can do all those things. So these are the people who should learn this course. These are the people, they should aware about a MITRE attack, and they should aware in depth. Okay, so number of people asking that when the training session will be. So we have two scheduled uh, for we have a 30th schedule, and we have a 14th, and which is Saturday and Sunday, and we will start at 6:30, and we will end it at 12 o'clock. So somewhere around a 5 hour session with a 30-minute break. Okay, and these are the topics which we are going to cover. This is not a full-fledged syllabus, but this is what you are going to learn a lot about MITRE ATT&CK, how you can, what is data source in MITRE ATT&CK, what is TTPs, uh, how you can implement MITRE ATT&CK, how you can implement MITRE ATT&CK, how you can use simulators, right? So if anyone have any question related to the things which I have explained, you can post it in chat. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. How many miters attack methods are there? Okay, Jashid. So Jashid, are you asking about techniques? How many techniques are there, or how many? Okay, so it is around more than 250 techniques are there now, but it is increasing day by day. So might be you know about the latest attack which is happened on SolarWind. So they have introduced a few more techniques related to that. So it is increasing day by day. So yeah, but last time when I checked, it was 251. Now it is more. Okay. Do we have a certificate for it? Okay. Presently, MITRE doesn't introduce any certificate as such for a platform, but might be in future they will have something related to that. But I think if you are doing any certificate related with the cybersecurity, this is a part of that. Okay, a lot of tools available now to assess. Okay, okay, how to register to that 12-hour session? Actually, Prashant, we have details of your email IDs. So we are going to send a detail about a registration, and we will send more detail about that when you can attend and how you can attend. So we will contact you and we will get that idea. Okay, how do I have to be aware of all of them? Um, Rashid, you can aware about them, but instead of awareing all of it, you have to actually divide your. um it is actually depend on your customers. So if you say MITRE attack also have groups, like you have APT groups. Okay, and these APT groups, I mean, it is advanced persistence threat groups, and they are attacking to a particular organization or a group of organization or a categorization of organization. So if you say oil industry, so there are multiple APTs which is related with the oil industries. So firstly, you need to figure out that what kind of customer you have it and what techniques for them is useful. So it is little tricky. So directly you should not know about all of them, but it is depend on your customers, it is depend on your organization. So what kind of customer they have it, accordingly you have to understand what techniques you should aware of. Is MITRE framework fit to a fileless malware? Yes. Paul, MITRE is totally fit with the fileless attacks. So if you are aware about a PowerShell attacks, which is happening through the macros, so it is having a techniques which is monitoring a PowerShell, which is monitoring a command line utility. So all those things get monitored by a MITRE, and you can always refer to the techniques, and you can always find different techniques which is doing a fileless attacks. Okay, for that Sunday, Saturday training, will you provide a recording? Yes, you will get the access of the recording. You will not get the real recording like downloadable or something, but you will get the access. What tools you have you integrated with the MITRE framework, and how often do you have to update it? I have integrated one with the Kibana, so the open source. It is open source stack, so I have integrated the MITRE framework with the Kibana, and I am making rules every day. Like I am checking it if it is for. Previously, I have made a integration for Office 365 with SIM tool. So for that, we have introduced SIM rules for detecting the MITRE technique of Office 365. The same way we have done for AWS. So we are doing changing it day by day. We have to monitor every day and figure out that really something new came. Okay, is there any cost for training, and yes, how much? Deepak, that detail we will give it to you over the emails, so you'll get that details from 25. Is MITRE attack is a series of events that lead to an attack. Uh, Rakesh, are you telling is it like a pattern? Is it like some pattern is happening? So yes, MITRE is not if you take any one technique and you're trying to understand if this technique will lead me to the real attack. No, it is not. So you have to actually see a multiple techniques is happening and you have to correlate with each other. Then only you will come to know what is the real attack. So yes, it is a series of events of attacks, and by understanding that, you will come to know what actually the real attack is. Okay, can you explain about TTPs? Yeah, Vigneshwar, we will explain it in lot detail. It is very difficult to explain it in 1 hour, all the TTPs. But TTPs is more, if I talk about TTPs, it is like tactics. Tactics means what is the original idea behind the attack, or what is the original idea behind a particular technique. So if someone is doing account manipulation, so they are trying to achieve execution, right? They're trying to achieve or if someone is sending the data out of their network, they are trying to achieve lateral movement, or they're trying to achieve data exfiltration, right? So that is tactics. And when they do those activity, account manipulation, or PowerShell attack, or macro execution, so that are techniques. And when you talk about procedure, now this PowerShell itself have a multiple ways. You can launch a PowerShell by directly running its exe, or you can launch a PowerShell by using a C sharp component of it, or you can launch a PowerShell by multiple other ways, right? So that depend on a procedure, how what actually the way they are doing it, that will come under the procedure part. I think yes, Ajaz, now it is 291 techniques. I think it is more than that now, because it is now collaborated with the pre-attack also. So those techniques also come under the enterprise itself. Okay, will we get the certificate of the completion? Yes, I think you will get the certification of completion after doing this training. These are various technique in MITRE ATT&CK, how to check and what kind of techniques are used in catch phase of kill chain. Yeah, Vamshi, if you are comparing MITRE with the cyber kill chain, that is uh, totally different. It is not necessary it should happen in the same way how the kill chain is telling. So might never say that firstly it will do happen the initial access, but techniques can happen for doing initial access. It might be in middle of some attack somewhere they are putting initial access part. So it is not necessary that it should go in a same kind of concept like you are saying a cyber kill chain. Cyber kill chain says firstly they will download the things, and then they will do the exploit, and then they will exfiltrate, right? So might doesn't say that it will happen in a same sequence. It can happen in somewhere in middle of the attack, or it can happen in the start of the attack also. How does the MITRE ATT&CK framework help in organization? Uh, Raja, it will help in multiple ways. So MITRE ATT&CK can help you in protecting your system, in finding the anomalies on your machines, in finding what is the security gaps in your organization related to the cyber security. So you can find those also using a MITRE ATT&CK. So there are number of use cases which we will explain in depth in during the training, that how it will be helpful in organization. Is the integration built in coming in sim solution, other than it must be working on additional effort? It will be additional effort, Acne. Like when you want to find things using a MITRE ATT&CK, you need a data sources. So you need to do a lot of data sources work. Like you have to implement the sysmon tools, in your organization so that you can monitor the process execution, network activity, registry activity, task schedule things. So there are a lot of things you have to monitor. If you are having a cloud environment, you need to integrate with AWS, you need to integrate with Office 365 so that you can able to get the data which is helpful in getting a MITRE attack detection. So in build, you will get tools, you will get like dashboards and all those things, but the extra effort is required for that. Was this the only part that was supposed to cover? Yeah, Shubham. In 1 hour, it is very difficult to cover everything. So this is kind of demo, so you will get full detail in your training part. Yeah, Alex, yes, like you told, there are a lot of cloud tools already integrated with the MITRE framework. What would be our role on it? So there are new techniques which is coming up. There are new method of attacks is coming up. MITRE is not like it is one-time job. It is already done. Everything is over. It is expanding day by day. Attacks are happening day by day. So you need to monitor it every time that what is the new attack is happening and is the rule is available for that or not. If it is not, then you have to actually work on it and you have to make the new rules for that. So it is a continuous job and you have to always look into that. Yes, there is a way to integrate with Splunk. There is a app, MITRE app is there. You can integrate, you can put that app and it will get integrated. Yes, Acne, you will get a hands-on option, hands-on labs access also, but that detail you will get more properly over the mail. Um, yes, Joseph, integration is there for QRadar also. But for that, you have to install the application. Do you cover attack testing tools? Yes, we are going to cover a testing tool which is given by a Red Canary. It is the PowerShell tool. With the help of that, we will run it on our environment and find out the same attack by using open source SIM tool. Is it cover use case design based on? Yes, it will cover use cases also based on MITRE attack, like what is this security assessment. This is one of the use case, red teaming, another use case. Like that, there are multiple use cases which we will cover in training part. There are multiple roles, Vijay, which you can do after learning a MITRE attack. There is a roles related with the SOC. There is a roles related with the security researcher. In development also there is a roles. So there are multiple roles which is related with a MITRE attack. So if you learn that, then you can go in any direction, depend on your interest, depend on what actually you want to, which way or which path you want to go in cybersecurity. So depend on that, there are multiple roles. If I give an example, security analyst is one of them, then SOC analyst is another one, security researcher is there, security developer is there. So there are multiple roles related with the MITRE attack. Yes, you can use the attack for gap analysis and assessment using a TTPs. So MITRE attack navigator is there. That navigator can help you in doing so, which we will explain in training that how a navigator can helpful in doing a gap analysis and assessment. Preeti, this is the coverage which we are going to do, but you will get a more detail over the mail that what are the coverage we are going to do in our training. Rashid, hands-on lab, you will get a detail that what tools you need to bring for us so that you can start with the hands-on lab. Can we map defense to attack to identify critical gap? Okay, you are saying defense uh, framework, Sarath? Not sure, Sarath, not clear about your question. Okay, yeah, defense framework you can use for doing a gap analysis. I will show you my method, which is based on PowerShell. So it will give me more. It will be more easier. But for the defense, you have to implement the Python and all those things. So I will explain using the PowerShell how you can figure out that what are the gaps are there. Which tool will you use training to integrate MITRE use cases? Vamshi, I'm going to use Elastic Sim for that. At what stage of security assessment an organization could plan MITRE attack? What prerequisites tools an organization should have to build already? We that is what we need to check what organization have it. Deepak, we need to see that is it having the EDRs, is it having uh, the tools which is monitoring those TTPs, which is monitoring those data sources. So if those data sources get monitored by any tool they have it, then yeah, they can able to say that yeah they are good with they can monitor that particular techniques. But if it is not, then they have to buy some tool or they have to depend on a default tools which is MITRE is suggesting like you have a Sysmon or you have other OS query tools. So based on that, they have to develop something. Okay, these are the question which have gone through. Anyone else have any question? Please post it. I'm happy to help answer those queries. Yes, Kiran, Red Canary is free. That is, they have released the version on GitHub. You can always download those modules and you can install in your system. It is totally free, and I'll explain how it will be used in a real environment training. Please answer regarding using an NDR or EDR to visualize MITRE compare with a SIM which need a lot of development. Um, Shams, now most of the SIMs have given those tools. I don't think so. Development is required. But yeah, if you are having a EDR also, in that case also you need to update all the time so that new techniques can be monitored, right? So that is yeah, it is possible to use EDR, but SIM has other purpose. SIM just doesn't do prevention. It is also help you in finding the anomalies. You can also figure out that what are the ways advisory have done this attack, and you can block those ways, right? So yeah, EDR will be helpful in preventing. Yes, EDR is required to prevent those techniques, but SIM is having other purpose. Kiran, it is not necessary to implement all the techniques like I was explaining previously. It depend on what kind of organization and how they are dealing with the market and what kind of product they are dealing with. So based on that, you should monitor the techniques. So guys, we will meet next week. Who all are interested, please we will reach all of you, and please reply us on mails and we will whatever links we will send it. Please register on those. And in next week we will meet again with the people who are interested in training. So we will explain more. We will learn more about MITRE attack. Thank you, everyone. Happy threat hunting.